everyone, welcome back to Busy Being a Mom. If this is your first time here, my name is Jennifer, and my mission is always to inspire you to be happy, live full, and love life as I am being inspired to do the same. And today I have been inspired to share with you what has helped me to parent through difficult times. I know this time of year, the holiday season can be a challenge for some of us if we have experienced some sadness during the holiday season. Sometimes you haven't necessarily experienced a saddening event, but maybe it's being away from loved ones or not having the family that around that you thought you would have, or being away from your family. And there are a number of reasons why sometimes the holiday season isn't so cheerful for everyone. And also, not just the holiday season, but just throughout life, sometimes we find ourselves going through tough times. And as mothers, as parents, we still have to parent through the highs and the lows, the peaks and the valleys. We have to parent through tough times. And I am not exempt from that. I have had to continue mothering, continue parenting through tough times. And a specific time that I can think of in my life is through sickness and death of my parents. My mother, when she died, we were living in a different state. I only had one child at the time, but it was a challenge going from state to state to make sure she was okay and be back home for my husband and my son. And at the time, I was working a full-time job outside of the home. And here recently, a year ago, my father passed away, and he had lived with us for 7 years, and it was a challenging time. At the time that my father lived with us, I was still married to my husband, and we had 3 kids at the time, and it was a challenging time. And but I still had to parent. I still had to continue on through helping him through his transition, and also after he passed away, just dealing with the grief, or dealing with the emotions that came with that as well. And so I thought about that, and I've been thinking about it the last couple of days, and I thought it may be helpful to put something out there just to say here are some tips, but also some inspiration for parenting through tough times, whatever the tough time may be. I think that this bit of these tips can help you regardless of what that tough time looks like for you. And I have on a sheet of paper in front of me 5 tips. And the first tip that I have is to maintain routines. At the time that my father was going through his transition, he was in hospice, and we did hospice here at home for a while. And at the time, I was following a Fly Lady cleaning routine, as well as home management routine. And keeping that routine helped me to just keep a routine. It helped me to kind of keep me on track and not just be swallowed up in the going on swallowed up in what all was happening in our home and what all was going on with my dad. So maintaining a routine helped me, and it helped me with parenting because it helped kind of keep some normalcy for myself, as well as keeping some things intact as much as I could for my children. And obviously, in a situation like that, and with any tough time that you go through, sometimes your routines change, and sometimes your schedule changes, and you can't really get around it. So as much as you can, try to maintain your routine as much as possible, whether it's a cleaning routine, whether it's an after school routine, a morning routine, whatever routines that you can keep intact. I think that you could find it beneficial for yourself and also for your children to keep as much intact as you can, even if it's just dinner time at the same time, or breakfast, having your usual breakfast time or your usual dinner time. Don't discount those small routines and those little things. As much as you can keep intact in your normal routine, then try to do that as much as you can. And I think that you will find that that will give you some comfort and some structure. And it will also do the same for your children and just how you interact and continue to parent and cope during whatever you're going through. The next tip that I have is to have an outlet, to have someone, particularly when I say outlet, have someone that you can talk to, someone that you can confide in to help you to deal with the emotional aspect of whatever you're going through, someone that you can just kind of lay it all out there on the table and they can help you sort it out. Having a friend or a family member or a professional to help you cope and to help you deal with your emotions, I think is beneficial, so that as you come to the end of whatever season you're in, you've kind of dealt with your emotions as much as you can, all the way through. And don't pressure yourself and make it a chore, but just keep in mind that these are tips to just keep in mind, that you can do, that you can implement and embrace kind of as you just work through whatever the situation is. But don't stress yourself out trying to force any of these tips. These are just some things to keep in mind as you move along. The third tip is self-care. I know that when I was going through the situation with my mother, when she became ill and passed away, one of the things that I did early on is I tried to go to the gym. I had a membership that allowed me to use the facilities even out of state. And I was able to just pop into the gym and do a little bit of exercise. If you don't have a gym membership or the circumstances are that you're not able to get out to the gym membership, maybe you can go for a walk, or even self-care can be something like, it could be anything like making sure that you maintain your healthy eating habits and that you maintain making sure that you're getting the nutrients and the vitamins that you need so that you can get through whatever the situation is. If you take supplements, you want to make sure that you're getting your vitamins and your minerals and you're doing the things that you need to do to take care of yourself so that you can make it through whatever the thing is. You know, the situation that you're going through can be hard on you as it is. And so help your body to sustain that, help your body to be able to get you through by giving yourself the exercise, giving yourself the nutrients that your body needs to kind of propel you through whatever the trying time that you're going through is. Just give yourself the best, not the best chance, but giving yourself the best opportunity to get through, to push through, and not make it difficult, more difficult on yourself physically. And I'm just being very sensitive to different situations because I know that a tough time is a tough time, and it's not always easy to just maintain and do all the right things. And so as much as you can, just be mindful of giving your body what your body needs to help you. Okay. The next tip that I have is to, as much as you can, remember the big picture. When we're going through situations, a lot of times we see it up front. I mean, we're right there, front and center, right there going through it. And this goes back to the second tip with having someone that you can talk to help you to see the big picture. I know in the situation with my father, I was able to see, I was in it, yes, but I was able to also see the big picture. And seeing the big picture in my example helped me because I was able to say, okay, as much as I have emotions with what is happening in our family, what's happening with my father, I had to remember that this was about him. This was about his transition. And the more I was able to remember that, the more I was able to actually get through it and remember that this is part of my purpose. This is part of honoring him. It's helping him through this transition. I mean, he saw me into the world, and so here I had the opportunity to honor him and help him to have a peaceful transition into eternity. And so when I thought about that, and not neglecting my feelings and emotions um, within that, but feeling what I needed to feel, but also remembering and understanding and embracing the role that I was able to play. And so being able to kind of pull back and see the big picture helped me to just be strong. It helped to strengthen me to be able to get through that time and that period in his life, my life, our relationship, our family. It really helped me a lot to just deal with it. And if you're going through a situation that's not necessarily a death situation or an illness, but just seeing the big picture and knowing that this too shall pass, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, whatever the situation is, being able to pull back and see the big picture oftentimes can give so much clarity and also encouragement and inspiration and motivation to just get through whatever it is that you're going through. And the last tip is the most important tip for me was prayer. Just being able to pray, because in and of myself, I'm not able to figure out anything. I definitely need to rely on prayer to just have some guidance and also just to have the peace that surpasses all understanding. That is what I can get through prayer: guidance and peace. And so that is my tip number 5, but it is actually my most important. So those are my tips and also just inspiration for getting through a tough time. And again, I don't mean these to be tips that you gotta make it a struggle to keep, but just some simple, gentle reminders to help you through a troubling time. And I gave you my 5th tip as prayer, but it is definitely, again, the most important one for me. And so anyone who's watching this, who's going through a tough time, I just lift you up in prayer for you to have the peace that surpasses all understanding. And if you want to leave me a comment or send me a message, I'll be happy to respond with some encouraging words and prayer as well for your specific situation. And there's light at the end of the tunnel. This too shall pass. So I hope that you have found this video to be beneficial. It's definitely something that I felt laid upon my heart to share. And so I thank you so much for watching. Be happy, live full, love life. Have a happy, blessed day. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.